Act lasts only a moment, but when Glyto lets go, the fool's limb is already torn to shreds. With a cry of pain, he leaps away and melds into the roiling crowd. Solomorn ruffles Glyto's neck and turns to you. Feudal worlds are rarely known for their bureaucratic precision. Reconnaissance on the ground will tell us more than any report hastily scribbled down by these blockheads. I suggest we attend this trial and see how the laws of this planet are enforced. If it will help the investigation, we should not dally. I am pleased to see that you prefer to continue our mission over all the idle pastimes of this world. Solomorn looks at the crowd, staring at you in wonder and trepidation. So, Celestial Lord, your coming is a historic event for these people. They will be watching your every step, and your actions may well transform their lives on this underdeveloped world. Okay. Alright, Solomorn. We gotta level you up. What do you got? Get that. I like that one. Which of these stats do you have a lot of? Fellowship, ballistic skill, agility, awareness. Carouse is really high. Or no, it's not. Coercion. His coercion is really high. Overcharge. When the familiar becomes a target of an enemy's attack, the overseer has their damage dealt increased by 2%, stacks until end of combat. Whenever the overseer uses their archetype ability, what is the archetype ability? I'll do that. Okay. Activate armor. Now, I have not really looked at armor in a while. So, like, this one has better damage reduction, but my current one has much higher dodge. This Chrono's +2 to tech use. Sin skin. Improved armor body glove. When using reactivate or gaze twin temporary wounds. Let's see, I'd only ever played the tabletop version of 40k, so seeing the interactions on planets is cool. It gives Firefly vibes to different planets with different tech, but all under the umbrella of space travel. Yeah. Yeah, I really enjoy it too. Does Glyto have a chip? No, he doesn't. +1 skill. Let's do that. Alright. Save game. Okay. Alright, so this is a planet that is new. This is our chapel where we pray to the Emperor, the holder of the key to all destinies. The bell in its tower can ring so loud it'll make your ears pop. Alright, so this planet I think was added in this DLC, since it's heavily related to this tithe investigation. The Chronicles of Fate by Gregorius Fault, Chapter 2. It befits any servant of his to thank daily the Emperor, him that holdeth the key for the lot given them in life. As I have thanked him for the writings for thousands of moon lives, so too do I thank him now with the fetters that are preparing my soul for its new destiny. The rules of this service are simple. Day after day, I reverently carry with me the glass fetters, not daring to break them. Some believe that merely keeping them by one's bedside is enough to perform the sacrament. This is a lie perpetuated by the slothful and the faint of heart. I can't believe what I'm seeing. People from the stars on our planet.
what lies beyond.
Oh. There's a trap here.
I do what I must. Watch out. The shadows
Look
reveal
at all these
their
bombs. Oh my god.
secrets. Just as he ordained.
Some kid's gonna just be playing and just come over here and die.
The Vizier. Would he be proud?
Claustrophobia. Cyber Eagle gains 10 perception and does 150% more damage. Gains 60% dodge against obstructed enemy melee attacks. If the Eagle dodges an obstructed enemy's melee attack, the enemy immediately hits its random adjacent ally using the lowest AP cost attack, scoring a guaranteed critical hits. What? Ebonite Sword, two-handed. Targets hit with this sword suffer a number of static charge stacks equal to damage dealt by the attack. When a creature with those stacks is killed, all creatures adjacent to it suffer shock damage equal to number of charge stacks. Most warriors prefer swords, for they provide more flexibility in the battlefield against close combat. That's a two-handed sword. Alright, hold on. We do have one Cyber Eagle. Pascal has one. 15 perception, 150% more damage. 10 perception. Okay, let's do that. That seems to be better overall.
There will be no peace in my wake.
Don't know how to get there at the moment. Alright. May the Emperor, he that holdeth the key to all destinies, bless the Celestial Lord, him who descended from the sky on a bird of steel. I can't believe what I'm seeing. Chronicle of Fates, Part 1. Let these instructions enlighten all who walk in my footsteps. He who holdeth the key permits none but his most faithful to change their fates, and I, the eminent Gregorius Fault, have no right to fail him. This, my present work, will describe how a soul becomes purified and the rituals required to prepare it for its momentous turn of fate, those being things that any servant of his who intends to break the shackles of their former life will have to undergo.
Patience? My nerves are frayed.
Cargo. Did you see Lady Noella's rotting face? No amount of whitener can fix that. They say the poor soul's been trying to cover her sores with lime wash, the kind they use for walls. Part 3. What's that? This game is not good for eating while playing, if I'm reading everything out loud. As you approach, the nobles bow gracefully. Their sewn-on faces are wrapped tightly around their skulls, and their eyes gleam with earnest subservience. One dares to address you. O Celestial Lord, grace us with your regard. When my brother and I heard of your arrival, we immediately sought to surprise you with an exceptional gift. The ancient scrolls tell of a wonder, a mechanical sage by the name of Kajikor. It knows the answers to all questions, can make other machines do its bidding, and may even predict the future. My brother and I have borne many a hardship, but we managed to acquire this magical contraption for our much-cherished guests. The box in front of you, presumably the Kajikor they speak of, exudes a strong odor of ritual oils. Made of thin planks, it is covered in so many purity seals that it seems to be held together by them alone. A stack of flimsy rough paper lies atop it, and there is a mica panel with a malachite button attached to the front. A thin slit is visible among the buttons. Heinrich shrugs. I've seen quite a few distortions of Gothic on primitive worlds, but I do not recall ever seeing such a miscomprehension of the Omnissiah's gifts. After a chrono turn of heavy silence, Pascal finally intones, I am registering an act of imitation of sanctity. This cultural phenomenon is typical of underdeveloped tribes. I also anticipate the discovery of cave pictograms dedicated to the divine arrival of the more advanced units. Awareness. Listen to the sounds coming from the box. There is a barely audible breathing coming from the box. Whoever is inside wants very much not to be noticed. It's just a dude in the box. Glido stalks toward the box and bares his fangs while Solomon frowns grimly at the device. Really? Then again, what else could you expect from this ignorant world? What a rare and magnificent gift! I will be honored to display it in my chambers. Our hearts flutter at the opportunity to please the Celestial Lord. May this sagacious machine assist you in your endeavors. Cool, I just stole someone in a box.
Tapestry
I have
of
no
a
idea what that's
world,
going to do.
I am the rogue thread.
Examine horses.
Genius!
The horses glance at you with an odd curiosity. One of them pulls its muzzle closer and clacks its teeth, almost too greedily and hungrily for a harmless herbivore. The enormous gate is locked fast. Wait, what? Oh! My dog just found a box, like, under something. Bloody Sacrament. Area attacks with this maul create a smoke cloud. All creatures that enter the area must pass toughness, strength, and willpower tests with a -25 penalty. If you fail toughness, you're blinded. If you fail strength, you're slowed. If you fail willpower, you're disturbed. Okay. That's odd. Take use Pascal. Surprised you're streaming Guild Wars 2 when there were Twitch drops? Certain lack of sanity. The Twitch drops ended at 3 a.m. this morning. I streamed until 3 a.m. with about 2,000 people here. And then we all crashed really hard. The blacksmith has somehow managed to forge shells and casings. These do not belong on a feudal world. But no doubt, there's no doubt as to what they are. Crab didn't realize that. How are you enjoying Road Trader? Loving it. See, open the gates. So that opens a shortcut. Climb up.
Brilliance.
Immaterium Shroud. A Cyber Raven gains 15 willpower. Enemies affected by relayed psychic powers must pass an agility resistance test or become slowed. If the enemy is already slowed, it must pass an agility test with a 20 bonus to become immobilized. Do we already have a chip for the Raven?
Always.
No, we don't. So, better than nothing. Who's there? Is that the Celestial Lord himself? You shouldn't have come here. Good talk.
One step at a time, amidst the madness.
Oh, I gotta do the climbing check
There,
again.
done.
Alright. What faction is this? We're playing, humans. We do have a navigator in our party, so there's one mutant. Cargo. Yoink.
As a child, I was captivated by the chronicles of the feudal world.
Gonna listen to her for a sec.
Too. Knights clad in shining armor riding their fine steeds, battling enemies of humanity, and holding feasts after their victories. But this world has only grey and mud.
Mug, is this a long game?
Same is true for many
You could get 100+ hours out of playing this.
You should accustom yourself to that fact.
Beyond.
Lore check.
There.
Salivating profusely, the Laceraxes watch the food disappear into people's throats. Judging by their protruding ribs, the beasts have not been properly fed in some time. Protective Instinct. Cybermastiff does 150% more damage. Whenever its protected ally dodges or parries an attack, the Cybermastiff gains temp wounds and does 12% more damage from one round. It's not stacked. Protect can be used multiple times per turn, but each subsequent use in a round increases cost by 1 AP. Ooh.
Let us seize the moment.
Gonna equip that. So I think because this world was added in the DLC that included all of the familiars being added, that's why there's like a lot of familiar gear here. The Lacerax's augmetics are just as rusty and in sore need of service, but the creature looks far worse than the rest. Gaunt and weak, almost miserable, the creature looks up at you with glazed eyes as you approach. On the door, you notice a scrawled sign that reads Animal Number 4, Don't Feed. The same number is burned into the skin of the Lacerax. Tech use. Examine it. A quick inspection is enough to determine the cause of the problem. Some of the Lacerax's augmetics are clearly not working correctly. The muscles near the energy conduits are twitching as if the machine spirits in their fury were torturing the beast. It is surprising that only this Lacerax shows signs of torment, considering the poor state of the augmetics of all the cyber beasts here. I've seen Glyto convulse like that when his augmetics were malfunctioning, Solomorn says, but then adds with sudden anger. I doubt the local halfwits have the first clue about maintaining implants. They should have stuck to shovels and left the beast alone. Attempt to repair the creature's augmetic. You try to reach your hands inside to get at the Lacerax's augmetic, but the cage's bars force you to withdraw. Unlock the cage! This can only go well. You are unfamiliar with the operation of the mechanical lock, but that doesn't stop you from disabling it. The cage door opens with a creak, however the beast inside shows no reaction. Attempt to repair it. You find the issue and fix it with ease. One of the circuits was broken, possibly damaged in a fight with other beasts. When you are done with the repairs, you are hit with a realization. There is now nothing standing between you and this huge predator. With a flash of its visors, the beast begins to turn slowly toward the exit. For a brief moment, you find yourself only a meter away from a monstrosity whose jaws could snap a person in two. It hisses in your face. Suddenly, you see something moving out of the corner of your eye. A whirl of skirts, a frail figure. With a small shriek, Maiev throws herself between you and the starling beast. Off with you! Get away from my lord! Step away, Maiev. That is an order. The young woman casts a desperate glance at you and is on the verge of saying something, but never musters the courage to protest. She meekly steps aside. The silent duel with the Lacerax lasts only a moment, but feels like an eternity. Finally, with a beleaguered snarl, the beast dashes away without laying even a claw on its liberator. This can only go well, chat. Solomorn gives you a sign of respect. Not only did you deal with the augment, you also made the deadly beast recognize your authority with a single glance. Though I cannot help but wonder about the repercussions of this jailbreak.
There will be no peace in my
Climb
wake.
up. Goods. Chronicles of Fate, page 7,875. Oh my god. Those things are kind of a slog to read.
Genius triumphs.
Goods. Cargo. Goods. Cargo. Look around. Ooh, cutscene. Alright. Found a vista. Wait, Tavrisk the Sculptor. The sculptor's mechanical hands crawl over the rough stone, their many-jointed metal fingers remaining in constant motion. Even now, you recognize your own features in the unfinished piece. It seems someone commissioned a statue of you the moment you set foot on the planet. The old man turns his wrinkled face to you, and you see crystals where his eyes should be. Is my celestial lord here to gaze upon his destiny? Alas, my creation is not yet complete. Your hand augmetics are most impressive. Such implants are impossible to come by on a feudal world. Where are you from? Lord Rualdo had my limbs replaced before he took me from my home planet. It was so long ago I have since forgotten what my land is like to the touch. The sculptor's mechanical arms are pierced by sticky tubes, and the elbow joints have all but worn down. It must have been a decade since these implants were last serviced. Such neglect often poses a serious threat to the person's life, and yet the old man's skin looks relatively healthy in the spots where flesh meet metal. Lore Warp succeeded. This man appears to belong to a rare variety of psychers, biomancers capable of recovering even from otherwise deadly wounds and diseases. Oh, like Heinrich. What can you tell me about this material you're working with? This is Thacertium, a fascinating stone born from the bowels of this planet. Like any other kind, it bends and melts beneath the sculptor's tool, but for the sculptor to come to life in earnest, they must put their very soul into it. One of the hands emerges from behind the statue and gently touches his head, seemingly of his own volition. The soul, however, obtains calluses the more the sculptor works, and mine has long since become covered in scabs. He carves his works using the psyker abilities he is cursed with, an astonishingly frivolous application of warp powers. I do not quite understand. Are you a psyker? My Lord Governor calls me a foreteller and creator, others a wicked sorcerer. But there's no cause for concern, my abilities are sanctioned, and I am pure before the Emperor's celestial eye. He gestures at the tubes on the back of his head as if to prove the truth of his words. I am here to look at the sculpture. What has my destiny got to do with it? When I sculpt, your Celestial Highness, I see people's destinies in the forms I create. The visions that come to me shape not only the stone, but the person's fate as well. Your image was indistinct when it appeared before me, and my work is not yet done. What do you wish to behold? These musings on destinies and fates remind me of a heretical cult that has been plaguing the Von Valancius domain of late. Your visions, sculptor, are whispers of the warp. Heinrich glares ominously at the old man. I have passed through the halls of the Black Ship. My celestial lord may be certain that my creations bear no evil within them. Tell me, what do you wish to see shaped in stone? Rack says, finally the days of Joseph Guild Wars are over. Now we're back to not A-netting games. Yeah, I'm quitting Guild Wars forever until the next time I play Guild Wars. This is why the next plush should have the smug face. You just solved a problem by mean mugging a cyborg dog. Mug, does your dog have its teeth back? Claws, and yes, they patched it. They fixed that. All that I am accomplishing in the present. The sculptor's hands scuttle over the stone like huge metal spiders. However, his sightless gaze perceives exactly those details of your appearance that you are proud of the most. Your destiny will soon be complete, my lord. I will have it delivered to your celestial vessel. Mukluk gained the Glory So Far effect. Your very life's path has been carved into stone. One who lives in the present has no reason to fear the future, but sooner or later the future catches up with everyone. Increases the character's fellowship until the end of the mission on Thesara. Who are you? A humble creator, the governor's first sculptor, Tavrisk, who has the honor of shaping the destinies of others, but not his own. Tavrisk the sculptor turns his head to you, but you see no pupils in his crystal ocular augmetics. Did you capture the governor's destiny in sculpture too? His mouth stretches into a cryptic smile. I have made thousands of statues for Rowaldo, but the Sarah's stone flesh can never seem to sate his great ambitions. This old sculptor once more turns his unseeing gaze to the patterns in the stone before him.
A tantalizing anomaly.
I'm trying to click on the bag. There we go. Fiddler Servitor, Drummer Servitor, Piper Servitor, Organ Grinder Servitor, Lyre Playing Servitor. Oh man. Imagine getting lobotomized and turned into an organ.
Oh yes, they all will see.
Oh, what just happened? Oh, we triggered something. Whoa! Is that like a burning Iron Maiden? You see a man with a cruel grimace on his face and hands, disfigured with burn marks. Behind him stands a ghostly-looking mechanism adorned with a polished skull of gigantic proportions. The eye sockets, their edges melted, gaze darkly at the crowd with the promise of inevitable punishment. The man, clearly the executioner, bows his head. The very messengers of the sky have come to decide our fate. We are honored, Celestial Highness. They gave the dog claws but removed the teeth. No. The dog has an inventory just like the other characters. But whereas the other characters have an inventory slot for their weapon and they can put a sword or a gun there, the dog's inventory weapon slot just has a claw symbol there. There was a bug where the claw disappeared. The item that was his weapon was gone, and there was nothing in that equipment slot. So the dogs could not attack. They have patched that bug though, it's been fixed. Who are you? I am Tadio the Scorched, a slaughterman of the 5th generation and a humble disciple of the Iron Saint you see before you, your celestial highness. Master Tadua knows no mercy and his hand is unfailingly firm in the sacred cause of administering justice. Maiev is careful to keep her posture straight, but her frightened gaze is deliberately averted from both the executioner and the mechanism behind him. What is that structure? This instrument of punishment is a personification of the great Phesmorphorus of the Martyred, who accomplished the legendary feat of slaying 300 heretics. As is glorious tradition, all mutants who affront the Emperor's gaze and stain the face of Thessera must enter the Saint's iron embrace. Whenever justice is served, hundreds flock to the Phasmophorus, eager to witness the magnificent spectacle. You have just confessed that your semblance of justice serves not as a demonstration of lawful authority and deterrence to your subjects, but as entertainment. Solomorn utters the last word with disgust, as if there could be no fouler profanity. Heinrichs arches an eyebrow as he gazes at the Iron Giant. This is one of those worlds where public execution forms part of a sacred edification of the crowd. And yet, from the description, it sounds like the people are not learning from what they see, but rather perversely enjoying it instead. Who is inside right now? Another heretic who violated the holy laws of Thessera. And since his body is already turning to ash, such will be the fate of his name as well, to be scattered to the winds that it may never again defile the lips of any who live upon our sacred world. Never again defile the lips. Maiev looks ready to faint. She seems both terrified and nauseated by the sacred rite that has drawn so many onlookers. The law of the Imperium punishes those who deserve it. Was that the last of the accused for the day? That was but one of the first bodies set to stoke the Phasmophorus. It is going to get a lot busier now. As if to confirm the man's words, the fire-breathing saint expels a puff of acrid smoke. While the guilty are being reduced to ashes, let us meet the next participants in our performance. Like limping? Oh, wait, they've got, like, mutated arms. 2 people or something resembling people are pushed onto the stage. They are mutants, hideous parodies of humanity forever tainted by the imperfections of the flesh. One of them is dressed in stained yet expensive clothes, the other wears the tattered uniform of local guards. Your Celestial Highness, behold, 2 loathsome heretics who blemish the very face of Thessera with their existence. Tadua chuckles, but his sneer is completely devoid of mirth. The degree of their guilt may vary, but they both deserve to enter the blazing bowels of the Phasmophorus for the worst of their transgressions, distorting the sacred face of humanity. But since fate has graced us with such lofty visitors, I eagerly cede the right to punish these miscreants to you, Celestial Highness. Contrary to his honeyed words, the executioner's voice betrays his poorly concealed displeasure. Cassia purses her lips when she notices the onlookers staring at her hands, eyes, and neck. Many point their fingers shamelessly in her direction, others spit their feet in disgust. Her chin raised high, the Lady Navigator adjusts her forehead adornment with her clawed hands. She squares her shoulders, lets out a breath, and glares at the crowd with condescension. What exactly are these heretics guilty of? He smiles maliciously. It is the mere existence of these awful not enough. However, if your Celestial Highness wishes to explore the depths of their depravity, then may you become today's judge. The sentence stand before you. Tell us when you are done with the questioning and are prepared to deliver verdict. Bluff. The fool's voice pipes over the crowd. What an unexpected twist! Who better to judge the filth of the sorrow than a stranger who just fell on our heads? What was the opulently dressed mutant's crime? A rotten stain upon the noble families. He was hiding in his manner to conceal his deformities, but had trouble keeping his mouth shut, proliferating filth and tracts that he later sent out with his servants. He declared the choice of one's own fate to be slavery, cast aspirations on the very traditions of the world, was insolent, swore profanely, condemned those who had chosen a new destiny. Luckily, he has no heirs, and today this accursed bloodline shall be put to rest once and for all. The richly garbed mutant moaned something. You notice stitches on his disfigured face. The zealous servants were evidently in a hurry to silence the condemned man early and sewed his twisted mouth shut. What did the mutant in the guard's uniform do? A thief, brigand, and murderer. There is no way to list all the crimes lying upon this freak's conscience. However, his willingness to change his destiny against all odds merits this mutant at least some honor. Despite his feeble-mindedness and simplicity, he had enough sense to obscure his countenance with hoods and helmets until he made his way from beggar to guard. It was not long before his excessive passion for fighting and stabbing gave him away. The mutant utters a foul curse under his breath and immediately